Racheal Norris here with Thunk Creative Designs. Welcome to our channel. So today we are going to work on just some basic stenciling techniques. A lot of people tend to get a little bit nerve-wracked when it comes to how to properly stencil because they've tried it in the past and they've had a little bit of messiness get up underneath their stencil, and they've gotten frustrated with it and just given up on stenciling altogether, when stenciling actually is an amazing technique to use, especially when you're not the best freehand painter, or maybe you don't have a lot of confidence in your freehand painting. So I wanted to cover a couple of, tips, pointers, things that I can help you guys out with today. Meanwhile, working on a sign for my daughter's she shed. Those of you that follow us on Facebook know that we are currently working on a she shed for our daughters. We do everything as a family when it comes to our business, and the girls are amazing and beyond helpful in so many ways. And in a lot of ways, the best mini contractors I've ever seen. Because, some of you know that they school from home in an online public school, and so they're with us all the time, and so they pick up on techniques that we do regularly. Anyway, all that aside, we are doing a bohemian style she shed for our girls, and this is my third sign that I'm working on. It'll be the last in a set of 3 for their she shed. And this one I wanted to do some stenciling on. The other ones I did do freehand, but this one I wanted to kind of do something a little bit different. So I figured I'd bring you guys along and show you some tips and tricks. So here we go. First of all, we're going to start with brushes. Most DIYers, how-toers, and all that will tell you that you need a stencil brush. Okay? The stencil brush, because it has this super fine flat, let me see if I can get that up there for you guys, flat edge. So it's really good for the pouncing technique when stenciling, which is just dabbing. Okay? And that's true. And a lot of times it's wonderful. It works. Yes, I do own them. I own them in several sizes. Guys, I apologize for the quality today. It is not being friendly. Okay, so I own them in several different sizes, and they're great, like I said, but they're really not my go-to. I do this professionally. I am a certified decorator, and I design pretty much everything that we make at Who to Thunk It. So when it comes to doing the finishes, the stains, the painting, I do all of that. And honest to goodness, this little guy here is my absolute go-to. Okay? A lot of people would turn their head up, shake their head no, tell you not a good idea, because of some of the flexibility in it. However, once I show you how to use it properly, this will become your best friend after practicing and, getting back into stenciling if you've done it in the past, or even for beginners. This is a great tool to use. Okay. Second tip. Yes, this is typically what you buy your meat packaged in from the grocery store. However, we are Who to Thunk It Creative Designs, and we do think outside the box, and we do try to recycle as much as possible. And so yes, it has been thoroughly cleaned, but they make incredible paint palettes. I absolutely love them. I don't have to worry about any runoff because of the edging, and because of the texture, it doesn't soak up and waste my paint. So, fun little side tip. Okay, so when using your paint, now we're going to get into offloading our brush. When stenciling, if you want a clean finish, guys, you have to offload. And what that means is, I tend to use the inside of my lid. You guys don't have to do this. You can pour your paint. I've, in my own time figured out that ends up wasting a lot of your paint. So I just tend to take it out of the lid. That way I don't have to waste anything but what's on my brush. Okay? So you're going to take that little bit out of the lid, put your lid back on so your paint doesn't dry out, Put that aside, and now you've got a good little bit of paint to work with. Trying to make sure I'm in frame, sorry guys. But you've got a good little bit on your brush to work with. Again, you do not want a lot on your brush. You want your brush almost dry when stenciling. So we're gonna dab it. This is called offloading. Okay, you're gonna get a lot of that paint off that brush. Don't worry, we're gonna come back and reuse that paint. Okay, now we're gonna put our palette out of the way. Our brush is loaded. You're gonna come here and you're gonna start on the edge of the stencil. Let me focus that in, there we go. We're gonna start on the edge there. And I like to start on the edge because then I know that I'm not getting a ton, if any, under the edge at all. As long as my brush is offloaded or dabbed on my palette, I won't end up with a ton under the edge, if anything at all, like I said. As long as your brush is almost dry, you're good to go. Okay? So we're gonna go ahead and complete this. This is a very small stencil, so it's not hard to kind of fill it in all at once. If it's a larger stencil, I'm coming back over to my palette right now, guys, to get a little bit more of that paint that I dabbed off. Again, trying not to waste any paint. But in these smaller stencils, what I was saying is it's kind of hard to just do the edge and then come back and fill in because they are so small. However, I'm going to need more paint. However, on a bigger stencil, what I typically do is I do the outer edge. Okay, I'm getting quite a bit of paint on here this time, a little bit more than last time. Coming over here to offload. Okay. Again, sorry. With a bigger stencil, you're going to want to do the outer edge first, then come back and fill in. It helps to prevent you from, getting a little heavy-handed. You're a little more focused when you first start out on getting it right. So you'll do the outer edge like that, and then come in and fill the inside in, because the inside you don't have to worry about, seepage or anything getting under the edge of your stencil. So, but again, on these smaller ones, you can see this is a really small brush. The stencil's even, smaller in comparison, so it's just kind of filling in. Okay. So I just want to get a little bit of this completed for you guys. I'm not going to do the whole thing. When I'm done, I will make sure that I attach a picture along with the other two signs that I did and let you guys see everything. But I just wanted to show you some basic techniques, and that you can do this and you do not have to use a quote-unquote stenciling brush. So I kind of hate it. As a professional, a lot of people tend to think, oh, they're certified, they're a designer, they're going to cost more, they're going to charge more, they're going to be less wise to other people's finances, and that's not the case at all. With Who to Thunk It, we really, really want to show you guys how to do things more cost effective, but on a professional scale. Everybody wants that professional finish. Everybody wants that clean, designer finish, and not everybody can afford it. And I completely and totally understand that. I grew up very humbly. My mom was extremely frugal, and it really was a benefit to me. It gave me an appreciation for other people's finances and sometimes their financial situations. It could be anything, maybe you're in between jobs, but you still want to have a nice house. Maybe you're a student in college and you still want to have a nice house, and I get that. And you deserve that. Maybe you have a kid in college, but you still want to have a nice home, especially when they come home for the holidays. So, everything that we do at Who to Thunk It is going to be cost effectively driven, but at the same time on a designer scale. So you're going to get that professional advice and guidance, but you're going to get it in a way that pretty much almost anybody can afford. So I'm not going to say everybody, because I don't know every financial situation, but when it comes to using things like meat trays, as your paint palette, that will be a technique that, we throw in there. Just a quick little tip. Hey, do this. When it comes to, people telling you that you need fancy designer stencil brushes, no, you don't. You just need a brush, and you just need a teacher that can reach you. So if you guys have any questions, please, as always, put them in the comments below. I'd love to get back to you guys and, offer any other tips that I can, or even hear some of your suggestions. I'm open to any of that. But anyway, okay, so let's peel this guy off here and see how we did. I like to use the painter's tape because it just keeps me from having to hang on to the stencil the whole time. Ta-da! And we didn't need a stencil brush, guys. Okay. Obviously, I'm using an old piece of barnwood, so I wanted kind of a little bit of the distressed look. It's kind of part of the bohemian thing a lot of times. So, and that's kind of what we're going for. One of my daughters wanted farmhouse, the other one wanted a lot of color, so we decided to go with bohemian, because the daughter who actually wanted farmhouse is very, very artistic. And if you guys don't know the definition of what bohemian is exactly, it's really kind of artist driven. So anyway, that's it, guys. So that's how to stencil without using, big, expensive, fancy supplies. You can use a basic paintbrush. I prefer natural bristle brushes when it comes to stenciling. Let me rinse this brush off real quick, and I'll show you that the bristles on this brush are actually made from the exact same thing as my stencil brushes. Let me see if I can get that in focus for you. I promise I'll clean my brush a little better when we're done here. I just wanted to show you guys exact same fibers, just different brush. That's it. Does the same thing. It's, this one is not perfectly stiff either. It's a little bit, my goodness, I drew a blank. These fibers are a little stiffer, okay, but they're still flexible, all right? These two, same thing. Now this one's wet, obviously. I just rinsed it a little bit, but they're exact same fibers, guys. Work exactly the same way. It's all in your technique. It's like I tell my husband all the time. He says that he can't paint like me, and he really could. First off, I've been painting for a lot longer than him, so of course I've got the practice, but he doesn't like to finish projects, as far as do the finishing, the painting, the staining, because he doesn't think that his skills stand up to mine. But they really can. And I tell my husband all the time, it's all in the practice, as well as you can give an incredibly expensive, really, really good paintbrush to anybody, and they can dip it in paint and they can apply it to a project. The paintbrush is not what determines whether or not they can paint. The technique, the talent, the practice, the determination in getting it right, those are the things that make a painter. Because you can give a bad brush to a really good painter and they can still paint. So it's all in you and what you're willing to put into it, guys. Again, thank you guys as always for watching. I hope that this helps some of you, gives you guys, some of that confidence back. Some of you that have painted in the past with stencils and just didn't have a good experience. I hope that this, encourages you to pick up a paintbrush, get a stencil, and play with it, guys. Just, figure out your own technique. I hope that there were some pointers here that you guys could use. Again, if you have any questions or comments, please leave those below, and I would love to be able to respond and help you guys, or even, again, take suggestions from you guys. You guys, may know more than me, so I'm always willing and open to learn, and I can't wait to interact with you guys on YouTube. I'll talk to you soon, or Facebook. Either way, check us out on Facebook, and those who have not been able to follow along, you can find us at Who to Thunk It Creative Designs. We can't wait to meet you guys and interact, and maybe even get some ideas from you guys for the she shed. Maybe some of you guys are more up on the bohemian look. It's still a little bit new to me, so I'm just kind of flying by the seat of my pants, but I really want to get this done for my girls, and We're really excited that, you know, they've picked a theme, and so far they're enjoying what we're throwing together. But anyway, lots more how-tos coming at you guys. I'm fixing to have a slideshow up for the she shed. We have got the windows installed. We have got the, we replaced all the walls. And soon we'll be doing a how-to on the flooring. We are doing floors made out of paper. You guys do not want to miss this. Thanks again, and we'll catch you guys later. Bye.